And that is why this show was never adapted for Power Rangers.
Ressha Sentai ToQger.
Imagination. Ressha Sentai ToQger.
Hello and welcome to Earth Alien ProtoMet, and today I'm going to be talking about the train-themed 38th season of the Super Sentai series, Ressha Sentai ToQger. So let's hop on board before it leaves the station.
After waking up aboard trains with few memories, a group of 5 friends find themselves recruited by the Rainbow Line, a magical train service powered by imagination, in order to combat the ever-encroaching darkness of the evil army Shadow Line, which are corrupting stops along various train routes in order to spread darkness and misery. The 5 friends must seek out their lost memories while battling the Shadow Line as Ressha Sentai ToQger.
Also, my statement earlier wasn't just a joke. While it may not have been that case for a while, since Tokume's Sentai Go Busters was recently adapted into Power Rangers Beast Morphers, this retroactively makes ToQger the first season of the Super Sentai series to not be adapted for Power Rangers since that show's creation. Sure, there have been a couple other seasons that weren't adapted, but there's still a possibility for them. ToQger, on the other hand, will likely never get an adaptation, and not just because of Bingus, but I'll talk about that later.
Like all seasons of Super Sentai, the ToQger team is comprised of heroes in different colors, but what makes them unique is that they can swap their colors, and in doing so, give each other their weapons, allowing the team to shake things up in interesting ways. And the individual members are pretty interesting as well. In reverse numerical order, we have ToQGoGo, Kagura, a girl with a strong imagination that can allow her to do anything, though she can go a bit overboard at times. ToQYongo, Hikari, a quiet, thoughtful young man who plays with his kendama, especially when he's thinking hard on something. ToQSango, Mio, who acts like the mother of the group, looking out for the others while having a hesitant response to anything romantic. ToQNigo, Tokachi, a boy with confidence issues that's a bit prone to overthinking things, leaving him nervous. And finally, the team is led by ToQIchigo, right, a boy with a strong imagination who uses it to think of ways out of any situation, and who can come up with ideas to overcome any obstacle. And to go along with the train theme of the Rangers, their mechs are also trains, which they ride around in. The train is conducted by a man known simply as the Conductor, who is partnered with a snarky puppet, Ticket, who seems to have a mind of his own and can operate independent of the Conductor. Serving the passengers of the Rainbow Line is Wagon, a very sexualized robot woman who is clearly thirsty, which is unfortunate for her, since for the most part the only people who can see the trains of the Rainbow Line are children due to their vibrant imaginations. In a way, the Rainbow Line is similar to the Den liner from Kamen Rider Den. Oh. Well, I did say they were mechs. Of course, the 5 main trains can combine to form ToQo, but there are a number of support Ressha which can be used to give ToQo different abilities. And, as is the trend of Sentai mechs during this period, all the Ressha can combine to form a massive machine, the Hyper Ressha Gatai ToQ Rainbow. Quite a mouthful. Speaking of rainbows, that brings us to ToQRokugo, Akira Nijino, a stoic man who works to maintain the Rainbow Line as part of the railway maintenance crew. He gets his own train, Build Ressha, which can convert into its own humanoid form, Build Dio. He even has a support Ressha, Drill Ressha, which was originally part of the Shadow Line. But this makes sense given that Akira was himself a member of the Shadow Line, Zaram, who chose to join the Rainbow Line after witnessing the beauty of a rainbow. Once he obtains the power to become ToQRokugo, he battles in search of his place to die, despite the attempts of his new teammates to tell him that he doesn't need to. Over on the Shadow Line, the various shadow monsters are basically normal objects that are warped and dark, giving them an almost haunted look to the costumes. It's a good reflection of the darkness that the Shadow Line spreads. There are even trains that run the tracks of the Shadow Line, the Q-Liners, which are capable of transforming into bipedal mechs to battle against the ToQger Zone mechs, and they are very well utilized. But the more memorable designs are saved for the higher-ranked members of the army, with each of them having a rather noble or authoritative look to them. There is Baron Nero, who resembles a plague doctor in a fancy suit, General Schwartz, the military mind of the Shadow Line, Madame Noir, the noblewoman who seeks to marry her daughter off to the ruler of the Shadow Line, Grita, the aforementioned daughter who has a crush on Schwartz, Marchioness Mork, who along with Nero is the most loyal to the Emperor and the stability of the Shadow Line, and finally the ruler of the Shadow Line himself, Emperor Zet, a man with an odd fascination for things that sparkle. Clearly, even Saban and Hasbro like the designs, as while the show was never adapted for Power Rangers, the costumes for Baron Nero and Madame Noir were used in a couple of seasons of the American show. Even the Shadow Line's grunts, the dapper-looking Kuros, make cameo appearances in one of Boom Studios' Power Ranger comics.
And the reuses of these costumes are another reason why ToQger will likely never be adapted for Power Rangers. But now to venture into more spoilery territory, so if you want to just jump to my closing thoughts on this show, jump to this time in the video. And with that, let's get spoilery.
The big reason why the ToQgers have rather childish personalities is because, as it turns out, they are children. After their town was swallowed by darkness, which is why they struggle to remember anything about it, the Rainbow Line caught them and grew them into adults in order to combine their imaginative minds with their more durable and athletic adult bodies. However, Wright was the only one of the friends to find himself aboard one of the Q-Liners, as revealed in the first episode, and it's this reason that Zet even has a fascination with Sparkles to begin with. And then there's Akira's conflict of interest, as being a former member of the Shadow Line, he finds himself slipping back to the darkness in an attempt to protect the ToQgers and the Rainbow Line. It all makes for an interesting little drama that thankfully retains a lot of its sparkle and remains a children's show from start to finish.
While not the best season of Super Sentai, Ressha Sentai ToQger is still a very fun series that's very much about the journey rather than the destination. I'd recommend giving this show a watch, and until next time, I'm ProtoMet. See ya.